In this week's top 5 video, I cover my favorite X-Men movies in the Fox franchise. Let's go. Hello YouTube, Axiom here once again, this time recording from my home office. Got my cool Sideshow X-Men statues back there. And I'm covering my top 5 favorite Fox franchise X-Men movies. There's 10 total, technically. I know there's New Mutants is one of them, but that's like 11th, and that's not technically X-Men. So I'm only covering my top out of the 10, my top 5, specifically because there is news out now that the MCU's X-Men or Mutant movie is now in production. We don't know anything yet. And actually, I don't know if that's been confirmed or not. I believe it has been at the time of this recording. Either way, we all know the mutants are coming, the X-Men are coming. So here is my top 5 Fox franchise X-Men films. And these will be actually what's different from my last couple of lists is that these are in order of my favorite from top to bottom. Let's go. Number 5 on that list is going to be the original X-Men movie. This film was huge for me. I was in the army already when this film came out. And I had a training exercise where I had to be out in the woods for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. I can't precisely remember. But what I do remember is that I wasn't able to see the film in its debut because I had my military duties. I had to go do training exercise out in the woods, doing my medical stuff. I was a medic in the army. And I couldn't wait to get back into civilization to watch this film. And when I finally got there, I remember sitting in my seat like a little kid. I mean, technically, I was a kid. I was only 18. And I was losing my mind and just seeing that first fight scene with Wolverine. And then when he finally takes out his claws, the optic blasts of Cyclops, just everything. I couldn't believe that a film was taking this property that serious. That was next level. So that's why the first X-Men movie is my number 5 pick. Number 4 is X-Men First Class on my list of top 5. Some might argue that that should be higher on the list. And it's so hard. This list is very difficult. But the reason X-Men First Class is number 4 on my list, is on my top 5, is it was the reintroduction of the X-Men. And I know this is a huge pet peeve of mine being such an X-Men fan. We all know it's not the First Class. It's not the original 5 X-Men, which actually consists of Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Iceman, Beast, and Angel. So they took a lot of liberties in the Fox X-Men franchise. And they introduced Banshee and they introduced Mystique was once again there. Don't get me started on the Mystique thing. It's like, okay, how many movies does Mystique have to be in? Oh, anyway, that's neither here nor there. It did introduce one of the best Magnetos I've ever seen, maybe will ever see. It depends, right, on the new X-Men franchise within the MCU. Big shoes to fill. Michael Fassbender playing Magneto was magnificent. All kinds of adjectives with starting with M. It was marvelous, magnificent, master of magnetism. I said magnetism this time because I screwed it up last time. But awesome performances. The storyline was it was a good, solid storyline. And it felt different, but the same from the original. If that makes sense. I don't know if anybody else out there agrees with it felt different, but it was the same. But that's how I felt about the film. Let's go on to the next one. Number 3 on my list is X2, the sequel to the original X-Men film. By none, if for the simple reason that it introduced one of the most awesome, epic Nightcrawler scenes of all time. That attack on the White House, what just the Banff and him coming out, and then when they slow-moed it, how cool was that? I mean, I watched that on YouTube, just the scene. I watch a lot of these just for the scenes for X-Men using their powers. It was just so cool. It's like a habit of mine, probably a huge habit of a lot of people on YouTube, as these videos have millions of views and reviews. But That Nightcrawler scene was so epic. The Bamf hearing that for the first time, and then just the way he used his tail and the slow when they slowed it down so you can actually see, so it's not so fast paced. Epic. And everything else, Pyro using his powers was also very like awesome, very well done. That's why it's number three. Let's go to number two. This one was difficult because I know I'm gonna get it in the comment section. But it is what it is. Number two for me is Logan. I love Logan, and I know it's a huge fan favorite. It's massively a big box office hit. One of the things that always bothered me with Logan, and this is again as if I wasn't already stacking the chips against me, is the overuse of F bombs. Hear me out. It was the first R-rated film within the X-Men franchise, which was awesome, and that was, hey, give credit where credit's due. That was thanks to Ryan Reynolds and the Deadpool movie slash franchise. It was just a movie at that point. So they showed the audience that you can make this R-rated, especially with someone like Wolverine with his claws, where he's clawing people, stabbing people, and there's no blood. Well, this changed all that, right? But back to the F bomb thing, just because you can do it doesn't mean you have to always do it. I mean, some well placed F bombs. Stand up comedians know about this, about timing and delivery, and it just felt like it was just the perfect word was gratuitous. Fancy spices on the words. They just used it so much that it lost all meaning. Like F this and F that and F this and F that. Okay, we get it. You can do it. Okay, can you just stop, like, or at least place them in better positions to have more effect to the delivery and to the situation at hand? But they didn't do that. They just kind of F bombed it everywhere. So that always bothered me. But outside of that, great film. I mean, come on, right? That death scene. Sorry, spoilers. I mean, the movie's been out for years now. Come on, guys. But and then X-23 when she flips and it was beautiful. But I have to give the edge to the next one. Number one on my list is X-Men: Days of Future Past. Now, this film I am totally biased about because of one main element, and that is the Sentinels. The Sentinels, I love them. They are like a quintessential part of the X-Men. From the beginning scene where the futuristic Sentinels come out, where they're already adapting the powers of the different mutants, almost like heading into the whole Nimrod thing, all the way back to when they go back in time, or Wolverine does, and he has to go stop Bolivar Trask, and then just the fact that Trask Industries is a main component of it, but just the Sentinels in general are a main component of the entire film. And then seeing the old school Sentinels, right? Like being transported when they at the end of the film when Magneto starts controlling them, and once again Michael Fassbender doing an excellent job with his full costume, the purples and the pinks, reds, sorry, and of course, let's not forget that amazing Quicksilver scene, where that's the first time we see a speedster and how the film like tricks of the Hollywood, the tricks of the trade, how they could slow things down, show how he can do fast things. Yeah, there's a lot of plot holes and things like that because of that sort of power, because why doesn't he just do anything? Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But all of that, the Sentinels just by themselves, and the storyline was amazing. The sacrifices that everyone has to make, and then just the whole ending where it kind of turns back time and changes, creates a new universe. So well done. X-Men: Days of Future Past. Yes, I get that once again, Mystique is a primary component of the whole thing. But nonetheless, I think it's easily top notch. Maybe not your number one, but definitely my number one. Let me know in the comment section, which one you'd prefer. Which one is your number one? Maybe it's just mixing these two up, right? Maybe you put Logan on top and Days of Future Past. I've heard a lot of people say that X2 is their number two film when trying to compare these. But let me know in the comment section. That's it for this video. As always, collect what you love what you collect, and I'll see you guys in the next one.